All right, we got Division One, San Diego section football predictions for the 2022 football season. Very exciting year coming up. Got a lot of good players from all sorts of schools down here. Well, never mind, I take that back. We only got a few schools that are taking up most of the talent here, and the rest of the schools, maybe not so much, but it's all good. We got 16 teams, and we're going to go ahead and go down the list for each team. I'm going to name off my personal prediction on what their final record will be. This will just be the regular season. And then I'll predict the top two that are going to advance through the playoff system that'll meet in the championship, and I'll predict my championship winner for the division. That's how the process will go, and I'll go ahead and do that for all 5 divisions in San Diego section. So, kicking off, no pun intended, I have Carlsbad High School. Carlsbad, from what I've heard, from what I've seen, they got arguably the best quarterback in the nation, and I believe he's only a junior, which is pretty ridiculous. Aiden Sayin is going to be the key guy for this team. He's going to be the heart and soul for this team. I know that on the offensive side of the ball, Carlsbad has received a few transfers from other schools. And just by Carlsbad High School's nature of them having very tenacious ball players that really know what to do, know their role, and play very hard, they're always going to be successful, even though they may not have the most athletic players, if you catch my drift. But I have Carlsbad here listed at 9-1. I have them losing to Modern Day Catholic. That's the only loss I predict that they're going to lose this year. Otherwise, I have them beating everyone else. La Costa Canyon, Torrey Pines, Mission Hills, and they play Inglewood High School at home. I have them winning all of those games. Just that lone loss to Modern Day. Okay, next up we have Cathedral Catholic High School coming off a state championship. A really magical year last year. I believe they only lost a couple games. They lost a couple outer conference games, to my knowledge, earlier in the year. But they're playing some crazy good teams, arguably the best teams in California and top ranked in the nation, in Centennial, De La Salle, and I think they played Chaminade last year. But you know, those games are good. Those are very competitive games, and they kind of give you a gauge on how good your team actually is relative to the big boys, which I really respect. Cathedral's bread and butter has always been the interior. They've always been a very good downhill running team. And similar to most other North County teams, they got a very, very good culture and just a good atmosphere of players that really know what to do and just really know how to win games. So with that all being said, lost a few key players, have a new quarterback and system. I think they're going to go 6-4. I have them listed here. Key games that they're going to win, I say that they're going to beat Modern Day Catholic, and I'll kind of get into that later when I evaluate Modern Day. But I believe they're going to win that game early in the year, and they're going to be down in Chula Vista playing that game. But I have them losing to De La Salle, Corona Centennial. I have them losing to Lincoln, so they're going to have a tough year, a little bit down from last year, but that doesn't mean that they can't make a deep playoff run, and I'll get into that in a little bit. Next up, I got Eastlake Panthers. Eastlake had a mixed season, had a lot of good players last year, but couldn't really put it together. There were some issues within the team, from what I've heard, and the coaching staff and the players. They graduated a few of the key players from last year. Trey White, a really good two-way player, quarterback. Limon, I don't think he's at Eastlake anymore. So they got a pretty brand new team. Schedule is looking not impossible, but it's going to be pretty solid, pretty tough for a regular D1 team. I have Eastlake going 6-4. A couple key games that they'll win will be Via Park, them beating Poway, have them beating Granite Hills and Freedom High School. They got a very, very easy league schedule. However, they play Modern Day Catholic, and they are not beating them. So I got Eastlake 6-4 this year. Next up, we got El Camino Wildcats out of Oceanside. El Camino, always a very, very tough team. Doesn't have the marquee players out of Cathedral or Carlsbad may pick up, but they're still in an area where they can get good players, have a great winning organization and winning culture. However, El Camino just has a really, really tough schedule going out to, or actually they'll have Pinnacle High School, shout out to Spencer Radler, the white Steph Curry, coming out here, playing them at home. They got Carlsbad, Torrey Pines, Mission Hills, tough games, but I have them going 5-5. They're going to go 500 this year. They're going to win half the games. They got some very low quality games such as Grossmont High School and Westview, but they got to come back and they play their league games playing Mission Hills and Torrey Pines, LCC, so it's going to be tough for them to win these games, so I have them going 500. Next up, we got the Highlanders of Helix High School, pride of East County, the only high school that's keeping East County relevant because of the lack of talent and skill in this part of the county. We rely on Helix to make sure that we have any sort of relevance, so shout out to Helix High School. I have them unfortunately going 500. Going 5-5. Helix just has a real tough schedule. However, I respect their coaches and their administration scheduling teams such as Servite and Mission Viejo, because that is the standard in California high school football. It doesn't make any sense going down and playing Calexico or El Centro Southwest. You know, we want to play the best teams, and you don't want to play cream puffs. So I respect Helix High School for doing that. However, I have them going 500. A couple key games I think they'll go out and win will be Steele Canyon, Granite Hills, and I have them beating Otay Ranch at home. However, they have these tough D1 games playing Mission Viejo, Cathedral Catholic, Mountain View High School out of Mesa, Arizona. I have them losing those games, so they're going to go 500, still a competitive team. We'll see what happens when they get to playoffs. Next, we got LCC, the Mavericks, La Costa Canyon High School. Predicted record 7-3. I feel La Costa Canyon has not been getting the respect that they earn or the respect that they deserve. I have them having a very good year this year for the 2022 season. I have them having some key wins over El Camino. I have them beating Mission Hills. I have them beating Torrey Pines. I do not have them winning Carlsbad, San Clemente, and San Marcos. I'll have an upset there. However, you're going to have a real good year. 7-3. Can make a deep playoff run depending on what their seeding is at. See what happens. 7-3, La Costa Canyon. Next, we got Big Bad Lincoln Hornets. Big recruiting class. Respect to all the coaches in the school down at Lincoln putting their players out. Really the factory of producing next level talent in San Diego County. And it's really no contest in terms of the players that they're getting and the output of them getting guys out. Very, very respectable what they're doing down there, and nothing but praise to them. Regular season prediction, I have them going 8-2. Some key wins, I have them going to beat St. Bonaventure out of Ventura. Have them beating Cathedral Catholic this year, as well as Scripps and Madison. Only 2 losses I predict from Lincoln will be when they go to Bishop Alemany and when they have Mater Dei at home. I have them 8-2. Next up, we got Madison, the Warhawks. Really high hopes for this team this year. Had all sophomores and underclassmen last year, playing in a very competitive league with some very competitive teams that they'll face again this year. However, I'll have them a much better record at 8-2. I got Madison at 8-2. Some big wins this year over St. Augustine, Scripps Ranch, Mira Mesa High School, Granite Hills, Steele Canyon. I have them having a very good year. A lot of players should be breaking out that are juniors. Should have a really good year. Next, we got Mater Dei Catholic. I have the Crusaders going 9-1. Mater Dei, I have their only sole loss against Cathedral. First game of the year. I think out of the gates, they're going to have a lot of, not anxiety, but it's going to be a lot of butterflies going around, a lot of expectation and high hopes for this team. A lot of people in the county have Mater Dei as their favorite to win the Division One in section down here, which is very, very plausible. It's hard to debate that, but at the same time, they will have championship hangover for the first game against Cathedral at home. I have them losing that one, but then I have them also, because of how talented their players are, and basically, essentially, their whole team is returning from last year, state championship team. I have them going on a 9-game winning streak and winning the rest of their games after the first one. 9-1. Next up, we got Mission Hill Grizzlies. I have Mission Hill's very, very tough-nosed team out of North County, having them go 7-3. Some interesting outer conference schedule, playing Temecula, Chaparral, Los Angeles, Lawndale, and Palmdale Highland High School. I have them going 7-3. Have them tripping up on some league teams later on in the year with Carlsbad, Torrey Pines, and San Marcos. I have those 3 teams beating Mission Hills. However, I have them winning the rest of the game 7-3. Mission Hills Grizzlies. Next up, we have the Titans of Poway High School. I got Poway having a very, very good year this year. 7-3 is my prediction. They basically have the same schedule they had played last year. Maybe an addition of Grossmont to their schedule. Rancho Bernardo, Torrey Pines, and Ramona, I have them losing. So they're going to have a very strong season. Could possibly go 8-2, but I have them in a trap game. I have one of these teams tripping them up, but they could be a dark horse sleeper team when it comes to the playoffs. 7-3 Poway High School. Rancho Bernardo. I got Rancho Bernardo. I got Eric Weddle, man. The legend coaching the Rancho Bernardo Broncos. I have them going 6-4 this year. Tough year, tough schedule. Does not mean that this will dictate their performance when it comes to the postseason. But Ramona, Torrey Pines, Mission Hills, Mount Carmel, and Poway, and San Marcos High School is not a very easy schedule. So I got them going 6-4 under Weddle's first year as head coach. Next up, we got the defending state champions of Division 2. We got the Scripps Ranch Falcons moving up to D1, playing the big boys now. They had their fun beating up on Patrick Henry and University City and Coronado the past few years. I get it, they're in the city district, but they're going to play some good teams now. So let's finally see what they're made up of. And they're going to have a good year, in my opinion. 7-3 is my prediction. I believe their outer conference schedule is still relatively weak, in my opinion, playing La Jolla, Brawley, Mount Carmel, Canyon Hills. However, they are coming out of that division, so it doesn't make any sense for them to throw in a whole bunch of North County teams that will basically beat them. So I totally understand why, but I have them going 7-3. Gotta go on a 7-game win streak, in my opinion, but they're going to end up losing their last 3 to their league teams now that they moved to D1. Lincoln, Madison, and Cathedral have Scripps Ranch Falcons going 7-3. Next up, St. Augustine High School. Man, have they dropped off. It's unfortunate to see the demise based off of the last couple years of how they have been, but with the rise of Cathedral and Lincoln and Mater Dei Catholic school, it does make sense how some of these other schools, these private schools, are suffering due to these players making super teams. I have Saints going 1-9. I have them going last in Division 1. Lots of good players from last year graduating, and not enough help with the underclassmen coming back up to help the varsity. First year varsity is no joke and no simple adjustment to make. They're going to be great in the next few years with a great coaching staff coming from Torrey Pines High School. The head coach is going to change the culture down there, which is well needed to get Saints to be back to where they were. 1-9 is my prediction. Next up, you got Steele Canyon High School. Steele Canyon out there still playing hard. I have the prediction this year of them going 6-4. Got some tough games. They got San Clemente coming down here. They're going to play Heritage High School out of Menifee out in the Inland Empire. On top of that, stacked, they got Madison, San Marcos, Lincoln, Cathedral. Very, very tough schedule. Not to mention, Helix and Granite Hills are Division 1 opponents. Granite Hills actually moved down, but they got Helix too, playing them every year. I have them going 6-4, Steele Canyon. And lastly, we have the Torrey Pines Falcons. Last team out of the Division 1 bracket, I have them going 6-4. Pretty interesting first couple games in the outer conference, playing Ayala High School out in Chino Hills, as well as San Clemente going up there. I have them going 6-4. Tough stretch in the latter part of their schedule, playing Carlsbad, El Camino, Mission Hill, San Marcos, and LCC in a row. I believe Torrey Pines has one of the toughest schedules in the county, and they aren't mentioned as much. Probably a contributing factor to why I believe they're going to go 6-4, yet they're still a great wing T running downhill team with that North County attitude. Still think they're going to be able to maybe steal one, so I got 6-4 for Torrey Pines. And with that being said, got all the Division 1, all 16 teams wrapped up for the regular season predictions. Now, my final prediction on who the last two teams will go and face each other off in the championship. I have Mater Dei Catholic playing Cathedral Catholic. Cathedral coming off of a down 6-4 year to make their way all the way through the playoffs. I have them with the championship DNA, with the personnel that they have in the interior, with the big poly kids. I have them making it all the way, knocking out Carlsbad, Lincoln, and all these other schools that have very, very good records, Madison. However, I have Cathedral Catholic losing to Mater Dei. I have Mater Dei as the champions for Division 1 for San Diego section once again, and maybe potential state championship contender. I don't know. I haven't gotten going that far, but I got Mater Dei winning it all this year, and they're my prediction. Don't disappoint.